Okay, Macbeth's lines to Lady Macbeth in this scene show us some of his internal processing as well. So he says, we've scotched the snake, like we wounded it, but we haven't killed it. She'll close, the wound will close, and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint, both the worlds suffer, ere we will eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we to gain our peace have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Right? Macbeth gives away a couple things about what's happened in this intervening time between the murder and Macbeth becoming the king, which presumably has taken some time. They've had to travel from Inverness, which is where Macbeth's castle is, to Scone, which is where he's been inaugurated, that's not really the word, presidential inauguration. Coronation would be the word, right, for the king. And presumably some time has taken place here. And he says now, we eat our meal in fear and sleep in the affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. He gives away that they're not sleeping well, right? That there's this kind of nightmarish quality to their sleep, and he knows this because they're in the same space, and he knows she's tossing and turning, and he's like, I'm tossing and turning, and he thinks in almost like an envious way of Duncan, who sleeps and is at rest, at peace in this place, right? Remember that echo from Act 2, Scene 2, the murder scene. Macbeth doth murder sleep. Macbeth doth murder sleep, right? Sleep no more. And here he is in that position where he is not sleeping. He is not resting. He's in this constant feverish state of eating his meal in fear and sleeping in the affliction of terrible dreams. I think this focus on sleep is important. Two images from Francisco Goya, Spanish painter of the Romantic era. This one is called, I think it's called The Yard with Lunatics, which you can see is a pretty tough vision here of, at the time would have been like an asylum. And this piece is called The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters, which you can see here, right here. The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters. Here's this like focus on sleep in the play. It's another interesting idea connected to some stuff we looked at last module. We looked at, we looked at seeing, right? And how Shakespeare kind of focuses on us, our vision of sight, and also thinking. And sleeping now is another one of those big themes. Macbeth again saying, sleep no more, Macbeth does murder sleep. And now at the end of the banquet scene, after Macbeth very publicly has this, mental breakdown, Lady Macbeth says, you lack the season of all nature's sleep. And it's pretty clear that this lack of sleep and this fixation, this guilt that's kind of like eating away at their conscience and their consciousness is producing some really negative behaviors out here in the real world.